of, blind dates and go for some, coffee and so. I'm not saying that. If it's an arranged marriage, work with your parents, work with your family, but do your homework. Like if you find that there's something that you're not comfortable with in the proposed discussions, then be open and frank about it, with respect with your family and so on. But the reason I say this, sometimes the brothers and sisters will say, no, I don't want to make my parents disheartened. Work with them. And inshallah, if your parents are, open with yourselves, they have a very good, healthy relationship with you, then they'll be able to do that. But I appreciate it's not easy said, it's easy said than done. But what I would say to you, that if you feel uncomfortable with a relationship, then raise your concerns as early as possible. Do not go into a relationship where you have concerns. Do not go into a relationship where you have concerns and it has not been addressed. It has not been addressed. It's very, very important. So always do your homework. And nowadays it's very easy. A few clicks on Facebook and a few checks on Instagram and Snapchat. Bob's your uncle. So what my point is that it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do. But do it within limitation. Do it within the hudud and within limitation. Maintain the respect of your family, the respect of the culture and the tradition that you are from. And I don't need to explain that any further. When I say do your homework, do it within your understanding of honor and respect. In the journey of getting married, for many parents, and it's a very, very important responsibility. It is a responsibility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given upon them. If a father and a mother do not arrange, should we say, if it's an arranged marriage, if they don't and even if it's a non-arranged marriage, they have a very strict responsibility to ensure that their child are being bonded with somebody who they are comfortable with, that will take care of them, that will honor them, that will respect them, that will maintain their chastity and respect. So these are very, very important aspects. But sometimes parents, due to family pressure, due to promises that they made 30 years ago, they will go down the route of say, okay, forget everything else, this is going to happen. And there's no need to be stubborn. And if a child or if somebody who feels that they are in that dilemma, then speak to other people, speak to people that will get you support and try to work it out. Nobody should, and it is haram in Islam to be forced into marriage. There's no such thing in Islam as, darar, or should we say, forcing somebody to go into marriage. That is not what you call marriage. So there's, and many times the argument is that the parents have made that happen. Be open, share your concerns with your family, with your family members, and more so importantly for parents have a very, very strict responsibility that they make sure that they give the child a good name. So first of all, the child is born, they give them an aqiqah, they give them a good name, they give them a good upbringing, they give them good tarbiyah, they give them a good education, they make them learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they ensure that when it's time for marriage, they hand over the honorable respect that Allah has given them, especially for the daughters, to somebody who's worthy and who is able to take that responsibility. And if you look at my 2 points here, so on here I talk about the responsibility and the roles of parents. But also here I talk about the responsibility and duties of the child upon the parents. And this is a two-way thing. Sometimes children think, well, my parents can't tell me what to do. The parents think, the child's not even listening to me. And, it's not a very healthy environment to be in. And, what I say is, the reason this happens, where there is no conversation between the parents and the child and the parents, is because it has not been built up in the early years. And what we do know from research is, whatever relationship a parent has with their child until the age of 8, then this will be a lifelong sort of relationship that they will have thereafter. So that's why they say, the first 7-8 years, bond with them, play with them and bond with them. And then they say from 7 to 14, educate them, teach them. And then thereafter you make them be independent. But this happens, many a times what happens is, the parents have no idea what the child is doing. The child never sees the parents around. Come 18, come 19, come 20, the parents say, this is what you're doing. You're not doing it, I'm going to kick you out of the house. The child says, well, I'm going then. So it has to be a relationship between the parent and the child. And as I say, it's not, it's easy for me to stand here and talk about it. And I appreciate it's not as easy as I may seem it to be. But what I do say is there's a big responsibility on parents of how they upbring their child in an open conversation with good relationships from a very tender age. And that then forms as they go into their teenage years. Family rank and caste. Does that have a position in choosing a partner? It depends. In some traditions, in some cultures, it plays a big role. They don't look at those 4 things the Prophet ﷺ talks about. They say, well, they're a Sayyid, they get married to a Sayyid. They're a Chaudhry, khalas. They are from this village, or they are from this, family. I don't hear anything else is happening. So yes, it has some relationship, but not as much as many of our, especially the South Asian communities, make it to be. Now put some, this is like the perfect soulmate, the perfect sort of person that you're looking for. But what I would say is, if you have all of these inside a person, so when you're doing your homework, when you're looking into your spouse, and as can I also say here, if it's also a non-arranged marriage, if it's however you term it, these are really, really important factors. These are really important factors. I've got a friend of mine who married, and people said to him, are you sure you're doing the right thing? And he was, blinded. He said, no, this is the right thing to do. And, it's sad. And then what happened is, number of different things from this list had not been on there. And one of them was temperament. And I put that in here. So, he had problems, she had a problem, but both of them were hot people. Always at each other's throats. When it was happy life, everything's happy. He's paying for everything, everything's fine. But as soon as it becomes a long-term relationship, then suddenly he finds that, gosh, she's really hard to work with. Her position was, he's really hard to work with. And unfortunately, it didn't last very long. And even if it did last some time, it was very difficult and challenging. So what my point is these key things that you should be considering when you're looking at some of those qualities. Test people for those qualities. So, some important aspects of those is, number 1, faith. You need to make sure that whoever you are marrying are of your faith. The Quran talks about this in Surah An-Nur. So, for Muslim women, they must marry Muslim men. For Muslim men, they must marry Muslim women. Though Islam has allowed for Muslim men to marry others from the Ahlul Kitab, from the people of the book. But that was applicable then, it is applicable now. But they have to be strict people of the book. So I'll give you one example. One brother came up to me and recently, about a couple of weeks ago, and said, Sheikh, everything is sorted. I've spoken to my parents, I've spoken to his parents. Everything is ready. I just need to give you the date when you can come and do the nikah. I said, hold on. Just because you've given me a date to come and give you nikah, I'm not going to just do it like that, because I have a lot of questions. So if you're willing to work with me and answer my questions and for me to speak to everybody, then inshallah I will consider it. So I spoke to them, and subhanallah, it came to the crunch that he was, yes, Muslim, she was not Muslim, she claimed to be Christian. So then I asked her some questions. I said, do you believe in Jesus? She said, nah, I don't believe in him. Okay. Do you believe that he's the son of God? Nah, I don't believe in that either. Okay. Do you believe in God? No, I don't believe in God. So clearly she's not Christian. She's atheist or agnostic. So I turned around to the brother and I said, that's my role finished there. Your nikah is not even permissible. You cannot marry her. In Islam, you cannot marry her because she's not Christian. You claim that she's Christian. She's saying she's not Christian. So first you need to determine what is her faith. Either her faith is Muslim, or she's Ahlul Kitab, the book, people of the book. And people of the book, literally people of the book. Not just because, yes, my parents were Christian, so I'm Christian. So these are important points. So the Aqidah and the belief. So first is the faith. I put in brackets Aqidah. Now sometimes they'll say to you, when you're getting married, they'll say, so what's your Aqidah? And they'll say, people will say, my Aqidah is Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So what do you mean by that? So these are questions. What do you mean by that? And the answer will be, well, I adhere to the commandments of Allah. and I adhere to the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Okay, so are you Hanafi? Are you Shafi? Are you Maliki? Are you Hanbali? What are you? Okay, so that give an answer. Okay, so are you Wahhabi? Are you Salafi? Are you Deobandi? Are you Barelvi? And all of these questions have to come. Now, what I would say to all of this is, as long as they believe in Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you've got the answer there. But what I would do say is, when it comes to the sort of other branches, they are not a core factor in choosing the right partner, but they do play a part. They do play a part. So, for example, let's say somebody's family are from one sort of methodology, and for wrong reasons, they hate another methodology with a passion. The reason I met with some people, and they said, "Oh, so I heard you're the imam." I said, "Yeah, that's what the people call me." "Oh, so where did you train?" So I told them where I trained. "So where did you study? Who were your mashayikh?" So I explained all of that. And then they say, and they give all these questions, and then after so many questions, they say, "MashaAllah, MashaAllah, very, very good." And then they ask one question, and they say, "So do you listen to this speaker, or do you listen to that speaker?" "I listen to that speaker." "Oh, well, that's it. I don't hear anymore. You are fi dhalalin mubin. You are off track."